belligerent on board the flight. He pleaded guilty to causing a disturbance, harassment, assaulting a police officer. It gets worse, there are other charges as well. Here's where that fine comes from, representing the total cost of fuel used because of his actions. He spent a week in jail and apologized and, in all likelihood, won't do this again. All right, as we go to break, the Viking spirit alive and on full display on Scotland's Shetland Islands. Hundreds of men took part in this festival, celebrating the island's Norse heritage on Tuesday night. The parade culminating in the burning of a replica Viking ship. You might not know this, but the Vikings did colonize huge parts of the United Kingdom, including the Shetland Islands, more than 1,000 years ago. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Join me as we continue the conversation with Canadians across the country.
You have an opportunity to have an impact on society that's bigger than you.
In their own words, a Bell Let's Talk Day special. Tonight at 7 on CTV.
Not sure what your car is worth? AutoTrader.ca lists over 400,000 new and used cars, the most in Canada. We compare your car against similar ones. So you just enter the make, model, year, and condition, and voila! Visit AutoTrader.ca.
Get your Ancestry DNA kit. Spit. Mail it in. Learn about you and the people and places that led to you. Go explore your roots. Take a walk through the past. Meet new relatives. And see how a place and its people are all a part of you. Ancestry DNA. Order your kit at Ancestry.ca.
When you're sick, Buckley's Mixture provides relief from... Here, take Buckley's for your toughest cough and congestion and feel that blast of menthol right away. Music to my ears. Buckley's Original Mixture. Tastes awful and it works.
There are certain things that will only do for the people we love. For me, getting the right life insurance plan was one of them. My policy from Canada Protection Plan helps to ensure that regardless of my future, my family will be secure and protected. Whether you're healthy or have health issues, getting coverage is only a phone call away. Anyone between the ages of 18 to 80 can apply. Canada Protection Plan is a leading provider of no medical and simplified issue life insurance in the country. And payments don't start until the second month. Take your family's future into your own hands. Contact your advisor or give them a call now for a no-obligation quote. 1-844-358-6060. Canada Protection Plan. Simply peace of mind.
Not warm up any. Actually feels colder now. The wind's kind of picked up a little bit.
You're watching CTV News Channel. It's Wednesday, January the 30th, and January is ending off very cold. The polar vortex bringing a deep freeze to much of Canada. 30 million Canadians, give or take, are dealing with this. Also in Chicago, elsewhere in the Midwest, a deep, deep freeze.
April 6th and 7th was the hardest. For me, this is the second hardest because I had to face Mr. Sadu.
We've been tracking this legal story throughout the week from Milford in Saskatchewan, the aftermath of the Humboldt Broncos bus crash last April. All of the victim impact statements have now been read in court. The sentencing is going on for the driver responsible for the deaths of 16 people. This man who admitted that he went right through a stop sign at that crossroads.
It can get better, and I think that, a big part of this campaign is about hope.
And the chair of Bell Let's Talk Day speaking out about Canadians' overwhelming support to end the stigma surrounding mental health. Good to have you with us here on CTV News Channel. I'm Todd Vanderheiden. It's 4 o'clock Eastern, 1 Pacific. A deep freeze that is being felt on both sides of the border. And here in our country, more than 30 million Canadians are dealing with a polar vortex from Saskatchewan right through to the eastern border, Quebec into New Brunswick. If you are watching us in places like Vancouver, Victoria, Calgary, things are not so bad. But of course, for the rest of the country, very, very cold. Environment Canada has issued extreme cold warnings for a big chunk, and anyone who is outside in that chunk of Canada is being warned to be extra careful. Listen to this.
I've got more than enough layers on, although I wish I was wearing more pants.
Yeah, Toronto's not used to this sort of thing. Ottawa, Montreal, more so. Some areas of the country could see wind chill values plunging to more than -50, such as Winterpeg. In southern Ontario, it'll feel like -35, which is presenting a challenge for people working outdoors. So cold in certain cities in Canada that pipes have burst over the last few days. Some cases, there have been regionalized power outages as well. Manitoba is experiencing the worst cold in a decade. I use the joke Winterpeg, of course. There's a reason why that nickname applies. Environment Canada has issued an extreme cold warning for the city with the wind chill values of -50 expected. And that's we're going to check in right now with CTV's Gabrielle Marchand, who's braving all the temperatures out there today. Gabrielle.
Winnipeg still under an extreme cold warning, and with it, Winnipeggers seeing bitterly cold temperatures. This morning in Winnipeg, feeling closer to the -50s. There's a projected daytime high of -30 today that will feel closer to -43 with the wind chill. And it's having an effect on drivers. CAA Manitoba says it's seen a record number of calls for service over the past few days. 6,400 calls for service over the past 7 days. On Tuesday, they saw over 3,000 calls for service. To put that into perspective, on average, they see 300 to 600 calls for service on a winter day. And because of that, they've actually suspended at-home service. They're having their resources focus on people in emergency situations who need a tow or a battery boost. Waits for cabs are also long in Winnipeg. Very few people outside in these conditions. The Winnipeg Regional Health Authority is advising people to stay inside, stay warm, and keep skin covered because exposed skin can lead to frostbite within minutes in these temperatures. Meanwhile, Winnipeg not expecting to see a reprieve from the cold until Friday. We're going to see a balmy high of -12.
CTV's Gabrielle Marchand for us there in Winnipeg, where it is very cold, probably the coldest in the country right now. We just want to show you some of the temperatures we're talking about here. You see Winnipeg there right in the middle, -51. Regina, not much better, -43. Thunder Bay, -41. Even in Toronto, Ottawa, Montreal, not bad, of course. Montreal, -15, but Toronto, very cold, extreme cold. Basically from about midway through Saskatchewan right through to eastern Quebec and down into southwestern Ontario as well. We're going to keep our eye on what's going on. Of course, we're used to this sort of thing in Canada. We're kind of hardy people, of course, north of the border. South of the border, though, not so much, depending on what state we're talking about. In fact, it's been life-threatening cold and wreaking havoc as well in Chicago and elsewhere, and it's expected to stick around. We get more from ABC's Will Reeve.
A deadly freeze gripping the Midwest and poised to blast much of the country. Once-in-a-generation temperatures, wind chills of 66 below zero in Minnesota, -45 in Chicago, have brought daily life to an icy standstill. School closures, flight cancellations, governors issuing states of emergency, all meant to protect people from the life-threatening cold. This morning, Amtrak canceling all trains in and out of Chicago. Even the Postal Service, famous for delivering mail no matter the elements, is shutting down in 6 states and in parts of 4 more. The system coming from the North Pole, leaving millions at its mercy. Today, 32 states under snow and cold alerts, from Montana to Florida. In the southeast, several states saw snow. Atlanta, getting ready for Super Bowl Sunday, could have a wind chill of 16 degrees. In the northeast, snow and wind with the worst yet to come.
Like I'm going into a freezer.
Experts say exposed skin can freeze and get frostbite within minutes in these conditions. In addition to the bitter cold, states in the Midwest are expecting up to 1.5 feet of lake effect snow today. And here in the east, where this system is moving, New York expecting a -17-degree wind chill tomorrow. Will Reeve, ABC News, New York.
All right, we're going to keep our eye on the polar vortex, bring you all the updates here. Our reporters right across the country. A reminder, of course, though, in the lower mainland of BC, Calgary, not so bad. It's around 10, 12 degrees in Victoria. today. Okay, we're tracking this story in Saskatchewan, the latest and the last of 75 victim impact statements heard today at the sentencing going on in Melfort, Saskatchewan for the truck driver responsible for the Humboldt Broncos bus crash last April. 16 people were killed. The driver, Jaskirat Sidhu, and the big question on the minds of so many of the families who lost loved ones, why did it happen? Listen to this.
We may never know. Unless Mr. Sidhu and I said we do sit down at some point and I can ask him that question. I can't imagine any other way. I'll find out why.
Scott Thomas and other family members saying they would like to hear from Jaskirat Sidhu himself, the driver. They want to know why he did not stop at that stop sign, at that crossroads, instead barreling right through an intersection and hitting the Broncos team bus. Singh has pleaded guilty to all 29 charges against him, and these victim impact statements, of course, are part of the larger hearing that's going on, the sentencing hearing. Let's go live to Melfort. CTV's Saren Fennell is standing by. We've been checking in with her all week, and we have more right now. I know, Saren, all of the victim impact statements have been read, so what's the next step here?
Well, the next step, court has been adjourned for the day, and it'll resume tomorrow morning, and that's when we'll hear closing submissions. So we'll get to hear from the Crown and the defense and hear what they want the sentence to be, and Jaskirat Sidhu will have an opportunity to speak, though the defense lawyer has not indicated that he will do so. So we'll resume here tomorrow morning to learn a little bit more.
Let me ask you, if I can, as well, about how the families of those who were killed and injured, how they're reacting to everything that's going on.
Well, we've heard from many families this week giving their victim impact statements, and for families